Good evening students. In today's class I am going to start with the new chapter, that is atoms. Then what are the important formulas from this chapter? First important formula is the distance of closest approach. What is the distance of closest approach? It is the closest distance from the nucleus at which the kinetic energy of the alpha particle becomes potential energy. See here, let us consider an atom, and this is a nucleus, and nucleus is positively charged. Then when an alpha particle made to pass through the atom, and at the closest distance from the nucleus, the kinetic energy of the alpha particle becomes potential energy. K is equal to U. K is equal to U because of greater repulsive force. When this alpha particle comes close to the nucleus, then this alpha particle experiences the greater repulsive force. That is why the kinetic energy of the alpha particle becomes potential energy. Then what is the initial velocity of the alpha particle? The initial velocity of the alpha particle can be taken as v. Now what is the expression for the distance of closest approach? So it is the distance of closest approach, means the closest distance from the nucleus at which the kinetic energy of the alpha particle becomes potential energy. Then what is the expression for the distance of closest approach? The distance of closest approach can be represented by R naught. Then R naught is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 2E. What is 2E? 2E is the charge on the alpha particle into ZE. ZE is charge on the nucleus, divided by 1 by 2 mv square. 1 by 2 mv square. What is 1 by 2 mv square? It is a kinetic energy of the alpha particle. Kinetic energy of the alpha particle. Now this is about the distance of closest approach. So next important formula, that is radius of nth orbit. Radius of nth orbit. Then Rn is equal to epsilon naught n square h square divided by pi m z square. Then this is the formula used to find the radius of nth orbit of hydrogen and hydrogen like atoms. So what are the hydrogen like atoms? For example, He plus and lithium double plus. Okay, these two are the example for hydrogen like atoms. What are hydrogen like atoms? These are the single electron atoms. Okay. Now in case of helium, there are how many electrons? 2 electrons. If one electron is removed, there is only one electron. That is why helium behaves like a, means He plus behaves like a hydrogen. That is why it is called hydrogen like atom. And in case of lithium, there are how many electrons? 3 electrons. Among 3 electrons, if 2 electrons are removed, then 1 electron is there. Hence Li double plus is just like a hydrogen. That is why Li double plus is called hydrogen like atom. And we are going to use this formula to find the radius of nth orbit for the hydrogen and hydrogen like atoms. And one thing here, the radius of nth orbit is directly proportional to n square, and inversely proportional to z. What is n? N is principal quantum number, and what is z? Z is atomic number, where the radius is directly proportional to n square and inversely proportional to z. What is n? N is principal quantum number or orbital number, and z is atomic number. Then if we are going to substitute the values of epsilon naught, h square, pi, m and e, then we will get the value is, that is 0.53 into 10 to the power of minus 10, means 0.53 angstrom. That is Rn is equal to 0.53 into n square divided by z. So here the radius of the nth orbit can be measured in angstrom. So 1 angstrom is here 10 to the power of minus 10 meter. So remember this formula. And what is n? N is principal quantum number, and what is z? Z is atomic number. Now let us move to the next formula, that is speed of electron in the nth orbit. So what is the speed of electron in the nth orbit? That is Vn is equal to Z square divided by 2 epsilon naught n into h. And here Vn is directly proportional to z and inversely proportional to n. means as n increases Vn decreases, as n increases Vn decreases. And this is about the velocity of the electron in the nth orbit, and the velocity of the electron in the nth orbit is directly proportional to atomic number and inversely proportional to principal quantum number. Means as n increases Vn decreases, but here as n increases Rn increases, because Rn and n square both are directly proportional, but here Vn and n both are inversely proportional. That is why as n increases Vn decreases. Next formula, that is energy of an electron in the nth orbit. En is equal to minus of m into e to the power of 4 into z square divided by 8 epsilon naught square h square into n square. Now here energy of the electron in the nth orbit is directly proportional to z square and inversely proportional to n square. So energy of the electron in the nth orbit is directly proportional to z square and inversely proportional to n square. And here m is mass of the electron, E is charge on the electron, then epsilon naught, this is absolute permittivity, next h is Planck's constant. These all are constants now. So only variable things are z and n. That is why the energy of the electron in the nth orbit is directly proportional to z square and inversely proportional to n square. Now see, as n increases, 1 by n square decreases, 1 by n square decreases, but minus 1 by n square increases, because a negative is there. Minus 1 by n square increases. See here once again, as n increases, 1 by n square decreases, but minus 1 by n square increases, because a negative is there. Negative is there. Hence, as n increases, the energy of En also increases. As n increases, means principal quantum number increases, En also increases. En also increases, because here as n increases, 1 by n square decreases, but minus 1 by n square increases, then En is equal to minus of 1 by n square, means En also increases. Okay, this is about the energy of the electron in the nth orbit. Next, let us move to the time period of the revolution of electron in the nth orbit. Next formula, time period of revolution of an electron in the nth orbit. Time period of an electron, time period of revolution of an electron. Time period of revolution of an electron in the nth orbit. In the nth orbit. In the nth orbit is. So how to find time period? So already we know that what is the speed of the electron in the nth orbit? That is Vn is equal to circumference of the nth orbit, that is 2 pi Rn divided by time taken, that is called time period. So time taken to complete one revolution is called time period, and in one revolution the distance traveled by the electron is, that is equal to the circumference of the nth orbit, that is 2 pi Rn. Now what we need t, means time period, then t is equal to 2 pi Rn divided by Vn. So let us substitute Rn and Vn. What is Rn? So from this equation, that is epsilon naught n square h square divided by pi m z square. 2 pi, I will substitute the value of Rn. Rn is epsilon naught n square h square divided by pi m z square. Pi m z square, then whole divided by, then what is the expression for Vn, means velocity of the electron in the nth orbit, that is z square by 2 epsilon naught nh. Z square divided by 2 epsilon naught n into h. Now let us modify this formula. Now see here, T is equal to 2 epsilon naught n into h that comes to the numerator, pi m z square that comes to the denominator. Now 2 pi into 2 epsilon naught nh into 2 epsilon naught nh into epsilon naught n square into h square into epsilon naught n square into h square whole divided by so z square into pi m z square into pi m z square. So here 2 epsilon naught n into h that taken to the numerator and pi m z square taken to the denominator. Now see here, 2 into 2 that is 4, then next epsilon naught into epsilon naught square, next pi, then next h into h square that is h cube, then n into n square that is n cube. See here once again, 2 into 2 that is 4, then epsilon naught into epsilon naught square, next pi as it is, next h into h square that is h cube and n into n square that is n cube, then whole divided by z square, z into z square, e square into e square that is e to the power of 4 into pi into m into z. Now sorry, z into z square, then e square into e square e to the power of 4, next pi into m. Now pi get cancel, then it is 4 epsilon naught square h cube into n cube whole divided by z square into e to the power of 4 into m. So see here, the time period of revolution of an electron in the nth orbit is directly proportional to n cube and inversely proportional to z square. Then we can write T is directly proportional to n cube and inversely proportional to z square. What is n here? N is principal quantum number and z is atomic number. As n increases, the time period also increases. Okay, because T is directly proportional to n cube. So next one, the frequency of emitted radiation during the transition of an electron from higher orbit to lower orbit. Frequency of emitted radiation See here, if an electron jumps from higher orbit to lower orbit, so let us consider it is higher orbit and it is lower orbit. Then principal quantum number of higher orbit can be taken as n2 and the principal quantum number of lower orbit can be taken as n1. And if an electron jumps from higher orbit to lower orbit, an electromagnetic radiation will be emitted. So this emitted electromagnetic radiation is called spectral line, and the energy of the emitted electromagnetic radiation, that is E equal to E2 minus of E1. The difference in energies of the electron in the higher orbit and lower orbit. Then what is E2? E2 is the energy of the electron in the higher orbit and E1 is the energy of the electron in the lower orbit. Now E is equal to E2 minus of E1. Then what is energy of the electron in the nth orbit? That is minus of m z square into e to the power of 4 divided by 8 epsilon naught square n2 square into h square, because the principal quantum number of higher orbit is n2. Then next minus of minus, that is plus. Next minus of minus, that is plus m z square e to the power of 4 divided by 8 epsilon naught square n1 square into h square. Okay, so let us take mz square e to the power of 4 divided by 8 epsilon naught square into h square as common. mz square e to the power of 4 divided by 8 epsilon naught square h square. So now in the bracket minus 1 by n2 square plus 1 by n1 square, and this can be written as mz square e to the power of 4 divided by 8 epsilon naught square into h square. So first I will write positive term, that is 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. 1 by n2 square. Then it is the energy of the emitted radiation, means energy of the spectral line. Now what is the frequency of the spectral line? Now E can be written as h into nu. That is equal to mz square e to the power of 4 divided by 8 epsilon naught square into h square. 8 epsilon naught square into h square into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. Then what is n1? n1 is the principal quantum number of lower orbit and n2 is the principal quantum number of higher orbit. Now, so let us take this h to the right hand side, that comes to the denominator. Nu is equal to mz square e to the power of 4 divided by 8 epsilon naught square h square into h, that is h cube, into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. Then this is the formula used to find the frequency of the emitted radiation during the transition of an electron from higher orbit to lower orbit. For example, second orbit to first orbit, for example, third orbit to first orbit, for example, fourth orbit to third orbit, like that. Okay. Now, and also we have to find the wavelength of the emitted radiation. This is the formula used to find the frequency of the emitted radiation. Then what is the formula used to find the wavelength of the emitted radiation? Frequency in terms of wavelength, that is c by lambda. C by lambda is equal to mz square e to the power of 4 divided by 8 epsilon naught square into h cube into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. Now let us take this c to the right hand side, that comes to the denominator. Now we are going to take this c to the right hand side, that comes to the denominator. Then 1 by lambda is equal to mz square e to the power of 4 divided by 8 epsilon naught square h cube into c into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. Now here m into e to the power of 4 divided by 8 epsilon naught square h cube into c is Rydberg constant, that can be written as r into z square, then 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. Then what is z? Z is nothing but here atomic number of hydrogen atom or hydrogen like atoms. Now here where r is equal to m e to the power of 4 divided by 8 epsilon naught square h cube into c is Rydberg constant, and its value is about, by substituting the values of mass of the electron, charge on the electron, epsilon naught value, epsilon naught is nothing but here it is absolute permittivity, its value is about 8.854 into 10 to the power of minus 12. Then h cube means Planck's constant value and c value, then we will get that is about 1.097 into 10 to the power of 7 per meter. Then this is the value of Rydberg constant. What is the value of Rydberg constant? That is 1.097 into 10 to the power of 7 per meter. Okay. Now this is about the frequency and the wavelength of the emitted radiation during the transition of an electron from higher orbit to lower orbit. Then there are how many types of spectral series? There are 5 types. What are those? Lehman series, Balmer series, Paschen series, Brackett series and Peapod series. Spectral series. First one, Lehman series. First one, Lehman series. In this series, the spectral lines are obtained due to the transition of an electron from higher orbits to the first orbit. Higher orbits to first orbit. Now let us take the higher orbits are 2, 3, 4 and so on. And here ground orbit in case of Lehman series, that is 1. That is 1. And this series lies in the UV region of electromagnetic spectrum. This series lies in UV region, means ultraviolet region of electromagnetic spectrum. And how to find the shortest wavelength and how to find the longest wavelength? We will get shortest wavelength only when the transition of an electron from infinity to the first orbit. For the shortest wavelength. The transition of an electron from where to where? Infinity to first orbit. This is in case of which series? Lehman series. See here, for example, 1 by lambda s. Lambda s means here the shortest wavelength. That is equal to r into z square. Z is 1 for hydrogen atom. Now, into 1 by n1 square minus 1 by n2 square. Then what about n2? N2 is infinity. Then 1 by infinity is 0. Then this can be written as r by n1 square. Then this is the formula used to find the shortest wavelength. If it is Lehman series, the ground orbit in the Lehman series is 1. Then we can substitute the value of n1, that is 1. Then we will get the shortest wavelength. Okay. Then how to find the longest wavelength? The longest wavelength. For the longest wavelength, the transition must be from nearest orbit to the ground orbit. Means n2 is 2. Which is the nearest orbit for 1? That is 2. Then n2 is equal to 2 to n1 is equal to 1. This is for the longest wavelength. Okay. Again, we can write 1 by lambda L. Lambda L means here it is the longest wavelength. That is equal to r into 1 by n1 square. N1 square means 1 square, that is 1. Then minus 1 by n2 square means 1 by 2 square, that is 1 by 4. Then what is LCM here? LCM is 4. Then 4 minus of 1, that is 3. 3 by 4. Then we will get 1 by lambda L. Then how to find lambda L? That is 4 by 3R. 4 by 3R. Then 4 by 3R gives the longest wavelength in which series? That is in the Lehman series. Lambda L is equal to 4 by 3R. Then we will get the longest wavelength in which series? Lehman series. And next series, that is Balmer series. What about Balmer series? Second one, Balmer series. Balmer series. Then, so in this series, the spectral lines are obtained due to the transition of an electron from higher orbits to the second orbit, higher orbits to second orbit. Then what are the higher orbits here? So which is the ground orbit in case of Balmer series? Ground orbit is 2. Then higher orbits are 3, 4, 5 and so on. 2, the ground orbit, that is 2. That is 2. Then next one, this series lies in. This series lies in. This series lies in visible region of electromagnetic spectrum. Visible region. Remember this point. So in which region of the electromagnetic spectrum Lyman series occurs? That is in the UV region. But Balmer series lies in the visible region of the electromagnetic spectrum. Again, in order to find the shortest wavelength and longest wavelength, we have to take the transition from infinity to the ground orbit to get the shortest wavelength, and we have to take the transition of an electron from nearest orbit to the ground orbit to get the longest wavelength. Okay, so this is about Balmer series. Next one, Paschen. Third one, Paschen. Paschen series. So in this series, the spectral lines are obtained due to the transition of an electron from higher orbits to the third orbit. Higher orbits to third orbit. Then what are the higher orbits here in case of Paschen series? So that is 4, 5, 6 and so on to 3. And this series lies in near infrared region of the electromagnetic spectrum. Near infrared region. Near infrared region. Okay. So near infrared region of electromagnetic spectrum. So IR means here infrared. Okay. Again, in order to find the longest wavelength and shortest wavelength, we have to take the transition. For the longest wavelength, we have to take the transition from nearest orbit to the third orbit. Which is the nearest orbit? 4, and the transition from 4 to 3, that gives the longest wavelength. And in order to get shortest wavelength, we have to take the transition of an electron from infinity to 3. Infinity to 3. This is in case of which series? This is in case of Paschen series. Next one, fourth one, that is bracket series. In this series, spectral lines are obtained due to the transition of an electron from higher orbits to the fourth orbit. So next one, that is bracket. Then what are the higher orbits here? That is 5, 6, 7 and so on. 5, 6, 7 and so on up to infinity, and here ground orbit is 4. And this series lies in middle infrared region of the electromagnetic spectrum. Middle infrared region. Middle infrared region of the electromagnetic spectrum. And last series, that is P-Pund series. Fifth one, that is P-Pund. And in this series, the spectral lines are obtained due to the transition of an electron from higher orbit to the fifth orbit. What are the higher orbits here? 6, 7, 8 and so on up to infinity. 6, 7, 8 and so on up to infinity to the fifth orbit. And this series lies in far infrared region of the electromagnetic spectrum. Far infrared region. So remember all those points. These formulas are very important for your competitive exams.